The Philadelphia 76ers got off to a very uncharacteristic start this season. They started this year off with a record of 1-4, and ever since then, everyone has given up on them as contenders in the Eastern Conference. And when I say everyone, I'm mainly targeting the mainstream media. If we were to tune in to ESPN or to Fox and they're talking about contending teams in the Eastern Conference, they always bring up the Brooklyn Nets, Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I don't hear them bring up the Philadelphia 76ers as much. And those four teams that we just named are great teams, but I definitely think the Philadelphia 76ers, they belong in the top tier of Eastern Conference teams. And after getting off to a rough start, I think since then the Philadelphia 76ers, they've been playing some of the best basketball in all of the NBA. We look at their record, they're 27-16, which is good enough for fourth place in the Eastern Conference, and they've also won 7 out of their last 10 ball games, and they're currently on a 3-game winning streak after defeating the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, there's so many different reasons that make the Philadelphia 76ers one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, and one thing that they've done recently that I love a lot, they have decided to bring Tyrese Maxey off the bench, and he's going to run the second unit. Now, I love this move for so many different reasons for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I think we have to give some huge props to Tyrese Maxey. As I was watching their most previous game against the Los Angeles Clippers, national TV game is on TNT, the game announcer said that Doc Rivers didn't have to reach out to Tyrese Maxey about coming off the bench. It was vice versa. He said that Tyrese Maxey sent him a text message and said that if he needs him to come off the bench and run the second unit, he doesn't mind doing so. So I just think that that speaks volumes to the character and the maturity level of Tyrese Maxey, because he's still a very young player in this NBA. He has great talent, and I'm almost 100% sure that he could start on just about any team in the NBA. So I thought that was big time by Tyrese Maxey, because I do believe that this makes a lot of sense for this Philadelphia 76ers team and their personnel. When we look at this starting five before Tyrese Maxey makes the transition to the second unit, is James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, and then Joel Embiid. And this is easily, based off talent, one of the best starting fives in all of the NBA. And we look at the best players, or we look at the guys in the starting five. James Harden, I think he plays his best brand of basketball when he has the ball in his hands. Same thing with Tyrese Maxey, and he has gotten a lot better at catching, shooting, and cutting to the rim, but I still think his best brand of basketball is when he has the ability to run the show. Same thing with Joel Embiid. You want the ball in his hands just about 50-60% of the time, because he's always going to make something great happen. And even Tobias Harris, he has gotten better with cutting and knocking down catch and shoot threes, but he also likes to post up and operate that pick and roll from time to time. So it's a lot of shots to go around in this starting five, and I'm pretty sure Doc Rivers knew this. And this is important because we look to the second unit of the Philadelphia 76ers. They have some nice pieces. They have guys who can knock down three-point shots. They have guys who can defend, but they didn't have that player who could consistently create for themselves while also creating for the rest of the second unit. And that could be a problem when you're a team trying to compete for the playoffs and compete for a championship. When your starters, when they do a great job and you go to the bench with a 8-point lead, you don't want them to get back in the game, and now they're down 7-8 points. So that's why I think those are two main reasons. I think while you're taking a great player out of your starting lineup, you insert De'Anthony Melton, giving you another defender, and then on your bench unit, you pin a guy like Tyrese Maxey on there. So I think those are two great reasons for Tyrese Maxey moving to the bench, and it just makes a lot of sense for the Philadelphia 76ers. And my ultimate reason for loving this move by the Sixers and for Tyrese Maxey is that he's literally going to be playing against NBA team's second unit, and there's not too many teams in the league that has a second unit that can contain a player like Tyrese Maxey. Now, me personally, I'm a big fan of Tyrese Maxey. I think he was playing great this season, and then he suffered that injury that kept him out for quite some time, but I think he was on his way to becoming a all-star this year. I think he missed too much time to get the nod now, but next season and the years to come after that, Tyrese Maxey, he's definitely going to make the all-star team. But him playing against the second unit, going to be great for his confidence, going to be great for him getting into a rhythm early in the ball game, and that time by the time crunch time comes around, he's going to be good. I think he's going to be in a great rhythm, and I just love his skill set, man. My favorite thing about Tyrese Maxey is his ability to pick constant pressure on the defense, because he's just lightning quick in pick and roll situations. As soon as his man gets stuck on that screen, he can turn that corner, get downhill. Not too many bigs in the NBA that can hedge out and cut him off to prevent him from getting to the lane. And then also, you can just tell he's one of those players that has a constant drive to get better, because we look at him his rookie year and we look at him now, he's gotten so much better offensively when it comes to the perimeter shot. Now we see Tyrese Maxey, he's confidently shooting that ball off the catch, he's pulling up for three, and he's knocking them down. So I love this for Tyrese Maxey for the Philadelphia 76ers. I think it makes a lot of sense for right now for him to come off the bench and lead the second unit, and he's definitely going to be closing games with the rest of the starters during crunch time. And another reason not to sleep on the Philadelphia 76ers, they have two legit superstars, James Harden and Joel Embiid. And yes, I said James Harden is a superstar because I firmly believe that he is. We look at his numbers, he's putting up 22 points per game, 11 assists, and 6.5 rebounds. So he's 3.5 rebounds away from averaging a triple-double on the season, and he still has that ability to go out and get his team a triple-double. So I think James Harden, he's been very productive this year. We're going to see him at All-Star Weekend, and I'm very happy for him because I think he's found his identity and his role for this Philadelphia 76er team. He came over last year at the NBA trade deadline, so not that much time to get integrated with a new team. We all know how long it takes to find that right chemistry. And I think last year we could see different points in the season where James Harden, he might be hunting for his shot too much, or vice versa, he might be looking to pass the ball too much. And I think this year he has found the perfect balance. Like we said, he's putting up 22 points per game and 11 assists. So that's a lot of baskets being accounted for by James Harden, and he's still one of the most skilled players in all of the NBA. Since James Harden has become superstar James Harden, his game has never really relied on athleticism, so he still has the ability to boogie on guys. His pick and roll game, the two-man game with him and Joel Embiid, and also those games where Embiid doesn't play and it's him and Trez running the pick and roll. I think James Harden is very dangerous in those situations because when he's coming downhill, the big that's playing the role man, he just naturally comes over to James Harden, and he's mastered that little bounce pass. And Joel Embiid, he's so skilled, you can get it to him going all the way to the rim, or you can get it to him on the short roll, and he's going to make some great things happen. And then the same thing with Trez Harold. That's probably the best part of his game, what he does as a roll man in the pick and roll, because he's just such a great finisher around the rim. But James Harden, loving what I'm seeing from him this year. He's been a great playmaker. He can still score in isolation, and he's doing exactly what the Philadelphia 76ers need for him to do. And then we have his partner on the other hand, Joel Embiid, who's having another MVP caliber season. And so far on the season, he's putting up 33 points per game to go along with 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He's also getting it done on the defensive side of the ball. He's averaging 1 steal per game, and he's also averaging right under 2 blocks per game. So Joel Embiid having a true impact on both sides of the ball. And whenever I tune in to watch him play, the things he do just does not make sense, especially on the offensive side of the ball. now. I think he is so much more skilled than people give him credit for. For example, he's 7 feet tall. I believe he weighs somewhere around 280, 290, and he has a mid-range pull-up. And I saw how great his mid-range pull-up was earlier this season facing the Milwaukee Bucks. Brook Lopez was tasked with guarding Embiid, and he was sagging off of him, kind of daring him to shoot the ball. And Joel Embiid, I think he finished that game with like 30 points, and I think half of those field goals were pull-up jumpers. He was taking one dribble right into his jump shot. So I love that part of his game that he's developed. And then the best part of his game is easily what he can do in the post. I think he's the best post player in the NBA, just because he has all the factors for it. He has great footwork, he has tremendous strength, and then he has the ability to shoot the ball. So you add all of those things into one. When it comes to scoring in the post, you just have a counter for everything, because he can hit you with the up and under, he can fade over both shoulders, or he can just downright overpower you. So Joel Embiid, both sides of the ball, especially on offense, he's a true headache. So we look at all the things we talk about, man. While we shouldn't sleep on the Sixers, I think it's such a great move by them to move Tyrese Maxey to the bench for now, see how this works out, because you're adding some needed defense to the starting lineup, and you're also adding some much needed offense to the second unit. So I think that's going to work out well for the Sixers. They have two superstars playing at elite levels right now in Joel Embiid and James Harden, and I think they have a pretty solid supporting cast. They did a great job this offseason bringing in DeAnthony Melton, who's been great, PJ Tucker, who the media, I should say social media, always try to clown him because he finished a lot of games with 0 points, but everybody knows that PJ Tucker, he does all of the little things, and you're never going to see that in the stat sheet, and he's definitely going to take on the best offensive assignment every night. And the Philadelphia 76ers, these guys are playing some great basketball right now, and I think they definitely deserve to be mentioned in the top tier of Eastern Conference teams, and they have the ability to win a championship this year. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.